This is the story of the photograph that became a symbol of the Holocaust and the 80-year mystery that was just solved. A man kneeling at the edge of a mass grave. An SS officer, gun aimed at his head. 20 soldiers watching. What they discovered was shocking. The man behind the gun wasn't some Nazi monster. He was an elementary school teacher, a family man, someone who posed for this photo like it was a trophy. This was the Holocaust by bullets, and almost nobody photographs it. But this one was captured, preserved, kept as a souvenir. Their job, simple, brutal, efficient: enter a town, round up the Jews, march them to a pit, shoot them. Summer 1941. Nazi Germany invades the Soviet Union. July 28, 1941. The city of Berdichev in central Ukraine. Over 1 million Jews were murdered in Ukraine alone. Most were shot in mass executions like this before Auschwitz, before the gas chambers. Before the war, 20,000 Jews lived here, over half the city. It was a center of Jewish life for centuries. Within weeks of Nazi occupation, most of them were dead. The photograph captures one execution at the Berdichev fortress. But look closely, this isn't hidden. This isn't secret. There are at least 20 soldiers watching, faces visible, relaxed, like they're watching a show. Someone wanted this moment documented. Someone thought this was worth remembering. That's the horror of it. Look at what this photograph shows. A mound of dirt earth dug by Jews forced to excavate their own grave. Bodies already piled at the bottom. The victim kneels at the edge, staring into nothing. His eyes look past everything, past the gun, past this moment, into somewhere else entirely. Behind him, an SS officer in a beret and glasses. Perfect stance, balanced, calm. This isn't his first time. German soldiers photographed atrocities all the time. They sent these photos home to their families, kept them in albums, showed them to friends. Think about what that means. This wasn't hidden shame, this was pride. For decades, this photo was simply called "The Last Jew in VINNITSA," words allegedly written on the back of the original print. It became one of the most reproduced Holocaust images in the world. Museums everywhere, history books, memorials. But nobody knew who these people were until 2024. In 2023, a German historian named Jürgen Madhaus made a breakthrough. He found an uncropped version of the photograph in the diary of an Austrian Wehrmacht captain named Walter Materna. On the back, a caption: "Late July 1941, execution of Jews by SS in the Berdichev citadel." But the killer's identity remained a mystery. Then something extraordinary happened. After Matthias published his research in German media, he got a message. A reader contacted him with a disturbing theory. The gunman might be his wife's uncle. The family had destroyed the uncle's letters from the Eastern Front back in the 1990s, trying to erase the past, but photographs survived. Matthias obtained those family photos and sent them to Bellingcat, an investigative journalism group that specializes in digital forensics. They used AI-assisted facial recognition to compare the family photos with the SS officer in the photograph. The result? A match. Over 99% certainty. The killer was Jacobus Onnen, born 1906 in a small German town, an elementary school teacher before the war, a family man. He joined the SS in 1934, years before the war started. By 1941, he was serving with Einsatzgruppe C, one of the mobile death squads in Ukraine. By late 1942, his unit had murdered over 100,000 people. Hitler himself visited the region in August 1941 to personally congratulate these units for their efficiency. Onnen was killed in action near Zhytomyr in 1943. He never faced trial, never answered for what he did. Here's the question that haunts historians. Why pose for this photograph? According to Matthias, Participating in mass murder was normal for these units. You didn't get bonus points for killing Jews, so why document it? Annan was posing for the folks back home, the regular, everyday Germans who would later claim they didn't know what was happening. This wasn't about following orders. This was about pride, about wanting to be remembered, about documenting what he considered an achievement. Think about that. A school teacher, an educated man, someone who spent his life teaching children, and he's posing for a photograph while executing an innocent person like it's a hunting trophy. That's the real horror of the Holocaust. It wasn't done by monsters. It was done by ordinary people, teachers, doctors, policemen who chose to participate in extraordinary evil. The victim's name is still unknown. We don't know if he had a family, children, parents waiting for him. We know only that he was Jewish, that he lived near Berdichev, and that he died on July 28, 1941. He was one of 28,000 Jews murdered in the VINNITSA region, one of 1 million killed in Ukraine, one of 6 million murdered in the Holocaust. But because of this photograph, he will never be forgotten. For 80 years, this image circulated without names, without context, just raw horror frozen in time. Now, finally, we know who pulled the trigger. We know his name, his face, his life before and during the war. And that matters, because this photograph reminds us that evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like your neighbor, your teacher, someone ordinary who made an extraordinary choice. The man kneeling at that grave deserves to be remembered. The truth deserves to be told. And the warning this photograph carries must never be ignored.